Davening takeaway, Likkutei Torah, Daf 2. This is part B, a continuation of the first one, where we're now going to discuss how davening affects or is in the process of bringing all the efforts of during the week with the mitzvahs, sending things back up into a higher state, but it remains in a hidden state into a revealed state. And so in this part of the mimer, a large section talks about davening in general, things that have been mentioned in other davening takeaways, but here it's laid out very clearly. It says that the way we bridge this hidden makiv state, that the effect of the mitzvahs and the revelations that come from that, and the return back to a bond with Hashem, the pleasure, the oneg, it comes from that. That's all makiv. How does it get into a revealed state? There has to be a bridge. It's called a memutza mechaber, that is an intermediary that connects, and that entity that makes that happen is tefillah, is davening, and as it explains that davening is a ladder, and so in this ladder, he explains, clearly in this mimer, is a ladder of 4 rungs, corresponding to the 4 worlds, from Asiya, Yetzira, Bria, and then Atzilus. And the height of the ladder, of course, is Atzilus. And there's a process going up the ladder and then coming back down the ladder. And so it explains that just like a pole or a column that connects the floor with the roof and keeps it all connected, so too davening, the ladder is fixed, down here in this world, but ascends and is fixed up in the heavens as well. And so we have then this process of davening is actually an essential process by which we make all this revelation happen. And so the mitzvahs we do, the ability to get that mitzvah set, as it were, back up, elevating the sparks, as it says, back into realm of Kesser. So that is done through davening. And when we have Mesiras Nefesh through davening, especially in the Shema, and then after that, we get the Shemona Esrei, and then following that, there's what's called Nefilas Apayim, the Tachanun, as we commonly call it. That section is also called the highest level. It's also in Atzilus. It's just a different aspect of it, but that's also through a Mesiras Nefesh that when we say, "I, Hashem, I'm going to give you my soul, Nafshi Esa, I'm elevating my soul to you and letting it connect." That's also an aspect of the Mesiras Nefesh. And so we have then, through that process, we're able to elevate the sparks that the mitzvahs accomplish. But during the week, that is left in a makiv state, as we said in the previous talk. And so now, how do we bring it down? That's through tefillah of Shabbos. It says that the tefillahs of Shabbos now elevate all the tefillahs of the week, which is mentioned in the previous davening takeaway, and it also then affects the ultimate drawing down into the world of all these effects, bringing it into a revealed state. And that brings us the oneg that we have on Shabbos. And it says that this ladder that we use for davening, an analogous situation is in our body, our spine, which has 18 vertebrae, and that connects our head with the rest of the body. And so too, that's the same idea as the ladder of davening. And it goes on to say that when we send these things up to Kesser, all of the elevations we do from the mitzvahs we do, in certain places, tefillah itself is called an atara, which is like a crown, which is Kesser in Hebrew. And so we see that this is connected, and it says, there's an expression that says that there are crowns tied to Hashem from the tefillahs of the Jews. And again, this is another way of expressing the same idea of what the effect of tefillah is. And so we have we see this then a very, very fascinating example of the power of tefillah, what the tefillah can do, and how the tefillah of Shabbos especially when we can bring it down into a revealed state, and instead of leaving it in sort of a hidden state, we can accomplish. And in the Mimer, it says that state of bringing all this level of divine light now into a revealed state, these high levels coming in, that's known as the Yachid Yehudim. That's the aspect of holy divine unifications, because we are now bringing this world into unification with Hashem and the energy, the divinity, the godliness that is enlivening it and bringing it into a revealed state. And this, Kabbalah says, is the effort that we will be doing when Mashiach comes, in Geula, because until then, for the thousands of years we've been at it, we've been doing what's called Berurim. We've been sifting through, separating the godly spark from the chaff, so to speak, the negativity, what have you, from it, elevating that spark. And that process then is the process that brings us to Geula. Once we have that done, then what's left to do is now drawing all that energy down into the world, unifying that with Hashem, so this place becomes a godly place, the Dir Davening. And that's, in a small sense, what the Shabbos davening is all about.